Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We're going to wait a few more minutes to get started so more people can join, but thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our data logging, logger basics, best practices for water monitoring. Glad you could join us. My name's Mike Lima. I'm a sales representative here at HOBO Data Loggers. I've been with the company for just around 4 years, specializing in helping customers like yourselves pick out the right loggers for their, logging needs, whether it's, water quality, water level, or, any of our other products that we have available to us. HOBO Data Loggers is located on Cape Cod, just over the Bourne Bridge. That's a picture of the manufacturing facility there, and one of fine workers building some of our equipment. We are proud to be part of the Lycor family. Been part of Lycor since April of 2024, and we have over 50 years of experience in environmental monitoring, and are a world leader in data logging and global network of distributors. Now, here at HOBO Data Loggers, we're all about data. So that's the main focus is getting accurate and reliable data, for whatever your monitoring and logging needs may be. And with that, this webinar is going to run approximately for 45 minutes. We will save some time at the end. So if you have any questions, please use the question feature and throw them on in there, and we'll try to answer as many of them as we can. We'll have 10 minutes at the end to go over all those, and any questions that we might not get to, don't worry, we will definitely be following up with each and every one of you. This webinar is being recorded, and a link will be sent to everybody. So if you have to, drop out early or have to leave for any reason, you'll have a full copy get emailed to you as well. Part of the presentation today, we're going to, look at all our water monitoring and water quality loggers and products. We'll highlight some new product coming up soon, but we'll talk about data loggers and what are data loggers, what can they do, how we use them, how to pick the right one for your application, things like that. Go over the different measurements available. At the end, there are a couple of cases we can look at, or some applications that show how the data loggers are used in real world environment. And then that question and answer session that I spoke of, we'll have some time at the end to dip in a little bit deeper. So speaking of the new products, we have our MX2501 underwater PAR sensor. This integrates Licor's LI-192 quantum PAR sensor, offering the industry's highest accuracy underwater light measurements. This is, designed for ecosystem research and restoration. It's a small, compact, rugged product made for all water environments, fresh salt. Now, as you see on the right side of the picture, it shows a little wiper that can be added. That would be a third party, but we do have some options or suggestions on how to do that if it is needed. So it's kind of a neat little setup shown there on the right as well as the left. Now into the basic, what is a data logger? What can it do? There's some pictures of a bunch of different, both water as well as some indoor temperature, relative humidity, and other logging devices. They're typically, compact electronic instruments that can record, from different intervals from 1 second all the way up to 18 hours. And that interval is going to obviously affect your battery life and your memory. So these, have microprocessor memory for storage and different ways of communicating. They can be deployed indoors, outdoors, underwater, as we're going to focus in on today in our webinar. With the interval times, you can record, with a second interval, it's probably going to fill memory in hours or maybe a day. Whereas if you set the intervals for an hour or more, you're going to have years of data. The software really will help you out with that calculation. I'll get a little bit on how you would use a data logger. This goes for all the different loggers, the USB as well as the Bluetooth style we have to offer. We'll get into some details on the next slides, but typically you need a app or a piece of software to communicate with the data logger. We have some that are Windows or Mac based computer style for our USB loggers. And then our Bluetooth has smart device where you can go to the Apple or Google Play Store, download. Once you have that app up and running and the device is connected either by a cable or Bluetooth signal, that's how you communicate. Set it up for your parameters and get it going. Launch it for how you want to get data. Put it in the location desired. Let it do its thing for day, week, month, whatever it might be. And then you can come back periodically and grab the data. Typically, we're in the water with a lot of these devices, so that Bluetooth or either of them, you're gonna have to pull them out of the logger to make that connection. And then download your data, and then you'll have it for file analysis. Our software does have some graphing tools, but you can also export our files out to different forms, CSV, XLS, HOBO files as well. Selecting a data file comes down to a few factors. What are you looking to monitor? What is the application that you're looking at? How you want to get the data? How do you, do you want to set it up, let it run for a while, come back at a later date to grab the data? Or are you looking for more of a real time or close to real time remote access of the data? So we, do have some different options depending on the situation. Some other additional considerations to look at is with different products, they might have different accuracies, and you might have a certain, specification that you need to meet. So, we can delve into the specifications for each of the loggers to narrow down to the best option, as well as maybe battery life or, some other specific software capability that one can do that another one can't. But that's something we can, drill down into as we're looking. Sorry about that. Went a little quick. Okay, so now that we're, getting into, we want a data logger. What type of measurements do we have available to us? This is a quick snapshot of what we have for underwater measurements. We do a lot of water temperature. So we have both USB as well as Bluetooth and even cellular options to get water temp, water level, conductivity, all the different readings in this list. We can use our water level senses to do some water flow as well in our software using weir setups or dams type setups. We do have some light intensity loggers, and then kind of circling back to that new MX2502 underwater PAR sensor. On the other side of the screen there, those would be maybe more in the cellular version where you can even power up to 200 milliamps of 12 volts power to third-party sensors, but also take in those sensor signals like 4 to 20 milliamps, 0 to 2.5 volts, 0 to 5 volts, etc. We can also take in pulse inputs that way as well. Those applications helping us to pick out what we need, where do we use our loggers? What are we looking for? You got water quality, dam management. We do a lot of, wetland mitigation, stormwater management, a lot of flood monitoring. So we do have with our cellular systems ways to set up notifications and things like that. So if a level gets to a certain, height of water, you can get a text or an email, things like that. We'll go over that more coming up in an upcoming slide. So the different means of communication, I've mentioned it a little bit already, but we have USB communications. We also offer Bluetooth communications, and then stations or cellular communication. The Bluetooth they were around a little bit longer. They do need a secondary piece of hardware, a base or a shuttle that connects to your computer, your PC. And that's where you would talk, using the software, communicate, set up the device, a hard connection, with that other piece of hardware. Bluetooth's a little bit more convenient. It's downloading that app onto your smartphone. And then you just need to be in 100-foot Bluetooth range of any of the Bluetooth loggers, pick it up, and you'll be able to communicate and control the device. The third option, the stations, the cellular stations, that's something once you're set up, it's going to keep sending data to your cloud software account. However, the data plan is set up. So maybe every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, data goes up to the cloud, and then you can have reporting set in that cloud. You can have notifications and different things advantaged. There are dashboards for the sensors you have. So you might have a bunch of temperature sensors on, then you want to see a graph with showing all the different temp sensors. So there's a lot available in the cell station. It also gives you that you don't need to go on site to get the data. It's just flowing to the cloud. It's account managed as well. So there's some user roles that are available to you as well. So you can see once the cellular stations are set up, that data is going to be going to the cloud and available to anybody who can log in, anywhere in the world. Looking at the standalone loggers, we have a couple Bluetooth as well as the USB ones here. With the Bluetooth devices, you can turn the Bluetooth feature off, which will save some power, so you can get some longer battery life out of the instrument. Typically, there's a push button start for Bluetooth, or maybe a magnet that turns the feature back on. But there's a lot of ways to get more data, for your time deployed. These are highly accurate devices, very durable, waterproof. With the Bluetooth, as you see, the top picture shows the HOBO Connect app. As long as you're within range of the device, it'll be there. You can connect and go. The lower picture shows a USB style, and in the one hand is a base or a shuttle that is connected to a computer. And then in the other hand's a U22 temp logger that you plug in and makes the connection that way. So a couple different ways to use the devices. In the USB style devices, we have HOBOware and HOBOware Pro software. That's downloadable from our website, as well as if you purchase the HOBOware Pro version, you can get a USB stick sent to you with the software included on the USB stick. There's a lot of different menus and things to help out with easy setup, scaling. Both HOBOware and HOBO Connect allow you to change the units. So whether you're in Celsius or Fahrenheit or, things like that. With HOBOware, it does have some graphing. HOBOware Pro does a lot of cropping and different features that you can do in the Pro version as well. And one more thing with HOBOware Pro is any of our water quality loggers, dissolved oxygen, conductivity, pH, they're going to need intermittent calibration along the way, and you would use that HOBOware Pro version to help you along with doing the calibrations. So that's where that's needed. HOBO Connect is our Bluetooth device, free software downloadable from the Apple and the Google Play Store. You can also get it for Windows PC direct from our website. So this is showing here, all those loggers are showing up in the app. They're all within Bluetooth range, and then you just click on which logger you're looking to connect to, and then you move through the next. Once you get connected to it, that's when you get into the configuration. This here is showing one of our MX2501 pH loggers going through the calibration. It's in a 7 buffer, and it, step by step, as you can see, it shows you, to go through the calibration process. When you download the files after you deploy your unit, and maybe a week, 2 weeks later, you want to check out the data, you connect to it, download the file. That's going to let you, once it's downloadable, you can then share it right from your device via email, text, as an XLS, CSV, a HOBO file, or a PNG to view on another device. You can send it to multiple people. So it's an easy, convenient way that the software helps you manage the data files and get them to the people who need it. And lastly, here's into our web-based remote monitoring. On the top is one of our RX2104 water level stations. And you can see there's a weir in the background. That's pretty much, you have that cellular station with a solar panel, so it's charging the batteries. And there's a cable that goes to the sensor, as you can see on the rock there. And that would get you a water level measurement. These stations can also add up to 5 other wired sensors, even more if we, look at the configuration and can get into add adapter boxes and things. But you can also, with doing water level, you could add a rain gauge and a wind sensor, or maybe temp humidity, or whatever else you might need. The bottom ones are RX3000 stations. That's our most flexible station. It offers, any and all sensors that we have available. That's where you can get into that 12 volts power for third-party sensors up to 200 milliamps. We also, for both of these stations, can get configured for our HOBOnet. That's our wireless network. You can have up to 50 wireless sensors. And the range of each sensor is up to 600 meters. So I typically say if you put a station in the center and kind of move outward, you have up to 5 hops as well. So you could go 600 meters out to a couple of sensors, another 600 meters, and so on, and get quite a bit of range. These make up a mesh network, and it's a self-healing mesh network. So if, let's say, a sensor, goes low on battery, another one within range could take up the data path and make sure data from those other sensors that one was connected to gets back to the station, and in turn up to your cloud, for data storage. So this is the homepage for our Lycor Cloud software. This is where you would go, start off, register an account. Just like many other accounts, a username, password, setup. This gives you, once you're set up, you get any devices into there. Then you set them up for, how you want to see them, meaning your dashboards. You set up your reports, any notifications or alerts that you'd like, all get set up in the software. Once it's set up, it's just to look at and see. You can have weekly reports sent to you once that's set up. And if any thresholds get exceeded, then you can get emails or text messages with that. Like our HOBOware and HOBO Connect software, the Lycor Cloud allows you to export into CSV and XLS files. You can also integrate this or connect the data to another third-party platform. Using API tools to do different things, you can, pull data from the Lycor Cloud into your website. And as I mentioned, there are some user roles or things in the account. So you have the main account manager that gets created here, but then you can assign roles to different people, managerial roles or user roles, where certain people might be able to go in and change settings, and other people might just be able to go in and look at the data. So the software allows you to control who's, looking and who can see, rather than, just one username and password for everybody. So this is quick look at a device summary. It gives you the latest status of, the station, when it's next connection. Gets into, details of the station, like the firmware version and what data plan you're running, when it's going to expire. This is going into dashboards and the creation of dashboards. So this is a line bar graph of water level and rain together. We do have wind roses, as well as some latest conditions. So you can pick any of the widgets here on the left side and then create them how you want to look at them. You can set them up for different times, by the day, by the week, by the month, and that's all toggleable as well. In the settings, you can even average some data if you want to narrow it down and do max and mins and adjust things as well. If you have one of our water level monitoring setups, you can get into water flow, and the software, helps you along with doing that. You select what type of, uh, measurement method or what type of weir or dam you're using. And then it gets into the different math, needed to put in for your setup. And it's all controlled in the software. Once it's set up, then you can have that flow measurement directly into your data files. Another feature of this is that map feature. This is showing where all the station and sensors are throughout this area on a Google map. You can then click on any of your sensors or stations and see the data from them. It'll show you the latest conditions or the last recorded. So some might be updating every minute, others might be updating it every hour. It depends on how that sensor is set up, but it's going to give you the last reading. And here it's showing some pressure and temperature data on the screen. Now we're going to get into a few tips, or just things to look at when you're deploying some of the different loggers and equipment and sensors we have. With a lot of especially the, let's say, conductivity, pH, dissolved oxygen, you want to make sure you got a nice flow of water going by the sensor head. You also want to make sure that it's facing vertically to help avoid bubbles. Sometimes when it's horizontal or sitting at certain angles, bubbles can form on the surface of the sensor, and that can skew your readings out of range. You also want to protect your sensors and keep them so when you go back, they're in good condition and they're still there. So here's one of our protective housings that we sell. Just a PVC tube that it'll fit in. You can see there's some holes. That's that flow. Make sure we got good flow of water around the sensor. But it's also protecting it. Might be in a stream environment, might be a lot of things running by that could hit into it. So you want to protect it. And here's I love this setup here, whether it's one of these water level loggers or any of them, because we do have some lighter, water temperature loggers that, you cinder blocks or something heavy to put it in. And I like the screening around it, whether you do a PVC thing like that, maybe some other type of screening on either side of the block. Seen a lot of different creative setups, but having it on something to keep it so it's there when you come back is very important. Using markers, landmarks, even GPS, so you can, get back to that sensor when you need it. So these are just a couple of deployment tips. You see on the left side, there's a stilling well. It's got the sensor down. It's attached, just with probably a steel cable crimped on to the sensor, keeping it, at a level. Some other mounts, post mounts, driving in the ground, seen 5-gallon buckets filled with concrete with poles on them for some bigger setups as well. So you want to try to make sure you're setting up the sensor's face so that's vertical, and you also want to be at least 1 inch away from metal, just so you don't have any dissimilar metal problems or issues that way. If you're deploying any of the sensors in 2-inch PVC pipe or 2-inch well pipe, we do have both a closed end type well cap, as well as a cable style where you can route the cable in through, and it actually does a nice strain relief on the cable and keeps it tight inside the well cap. And these are available for, whether it's a water level sensor or any of our other sensors. Okay, so this was Department of Conservation and Recreation that helps dam owners manage dams, many dams, 100 of them throughout the region. They want to monitor high water level, so they can monitor for the owners around, so they can know, give them some warning. So with, like, say, an RX station that's monitoring this, that's where you can get into some warnings. So, like I say, you have a water level sensor, if you go above 5 feet, it's time to really start looking at it closer. You can get some emails, text messages. It can go out to multiple people. It's not just 1 or 2. You can do, 10 people get notified as soon as it gets above a certain threshold. And, with those types of warnings, hopefully it can help, notify people so they can, get out of harm's way if needed. Again, here's another one of our RX cellular stations. These, you can see it next to a river. It's got a rain bucket on the top there. It's doing both the water level and the rainfall calculations that can trigger, more notifications. That's, I think, the two biggest wants in that is the remote access, where they don't have to go on site to get the data all the time, and the notifications or the alerts availability with the cellular RX stations. And that just shows a couple of different examples of where that comes in handy. Yeah, so since installing the micro RX water level station at the dam locations, um, they're able to monitor, in the Lycor cloud software, and they can rely on those remote alarms, take action, um, and it's again, that not having to go on site all the time to get the readings. You can see it from anywhere with those alerts and things. Here's a neat oyster habitat restoration project. They're using a combination of different sensors, conductivity, pH, as well as dissolved oxygen. Um, so oysters can filter up to 50 gallons of water per day. Um, in addition to having the capability to filter water, oyster reefs play an important role in providing habitat for other species. Um, in 2014, the Billion Oyster Project was launched to help students, volunteers, and other partners, uh, hoping to restore oyster reefs in the New York Harbor. To help achieve this goal, they worked with HOBO data loggers to monitor the water quality at their sites. Salinity was one of the important measurements because a lot can be learned from the salinity in the water at these sites. Um, they tested different methods of doing that to make sure they were hitting the right spots, um, as well as you can add more sensors if needed, scalable type uh, you know usage. And with using the HOBO data loggers, they were able to map the water quality of each location, and that was able to provide insight into the growth and health of the oysters. Um, this provided researchers with the opportunity to use the science to explore an ecosystem right in their own backyard. And today, the Billion Oyster Project team monitors 15 active reefs throughout the boroughs. And have restored 47 million oysters. So a lot of good work being done there. And it looks like we've hit towards the end of the question section here. So looks like we got a few questions in there. So let's see what we got. I got a question about the monthly cost of the cellular service for the micro stations. It all is dependent on the plan. We have 3 yearly plans, which is 99, 199, and 399. They depend on how many sensors you have, as well as how often you want to get the data. For instance, the basic plan can have up to 10 measurements. And measurements like with water level, just one water level setup is 4 measurements. So you kind of add up what you have as you have sensors attached to a station. But once and that's 1 hour interval. So it's only going to record one set of data points every hour. Our standard plan for 199 is every 5 minutes. And that's up to 25 measurements. And a premium plan is as many measurements up to 336. And that's up to 1 minute logging interval, which is the fastest we can log at anyway. So the premium plan gets you the fastest speeds. They are pretty much chopped down into that 99, 199, and 399 divided by 12. We have recently added in our software in the HOBO right in your cloud experience. You can go right into the settings, subscriptions, and then control it yourself. We have a lot of customers who want to just have it running, say, from April to September and turn it off during the other months. It's now doable. You can do it as a toggle it on and off per month. So, the basic plan is a little under $10, a month, to answer your question. Another good question about estimated cost for replacement batteries. They're approximately $40 to $60 depending on the battery. And the batteries, let's say for the and this is, I guess, it's a kind of a vague battery. Some loggers are coin cells or AA batteries, so they're your just typical alkaline AA batteries or a coin cell battery. So they're dollars. Um, the station batteries, which will last 3 to 5 years, those are the $40 to $60 amount. Yes, the webinar recording is going to be, sent out to everybody was on the email list. So whether you were able to attend or unfortunately weren't, you will get a copy of the webinar so you can look at it at any time. It'll also be posted up on our website in a few days. Yeah, great question here. Are there tutorials to create the dashboard? Yeah, there is. There's a great, right on the Lightcore Cloud webpage on our website, in the resources section, there's a Lightcore help or support page. It's a web page that goes through steps of everything you would want. Getting your station first registered and set up, dashboards, exporting of data, uh, that's where all the information may be on water flow setups. A lot of good data inside there. I'm adding a quick link in the question section to that Lycor cloud support page. So if you are interested in the cloud experience, that's a nice place to see how things get set up and, uh, you know, step-by-step instructions. Now, rest assured, I know I didn't get to everyone's questions here. There are a few in there I didn't get to. So rest assured, we'll be getting back in touch with each and every one of you to answer any questions that we didn't get to. Follow up to make sure everything, any questions you have get answered, and help you with anything that can help. So look forward to hearing from y'all. Take care.